What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Enter Code Podcast. Only this one a little bit different.
Spicy.
Our audio listeners may not know what we're talking about, or maybe they do. I don't know. Yes, we are doing something a little bit different. As we mentioned in the last episode, we are recording a video podcast, and then we're going to separate the audio out, upload that to all of our podcast stuff, Spotify, Anchor.fm, Apple Podcasts, all those good stuff. But we're going to have a video file on our YouTube page. Why are we doing this? I don't know. I think it's going to be easier to put a video on our audio podcasts instead of vice versa, trying to put the MP3 and convert it into an MP4 and put on YouTube.
We're just, growing, adding more content to our stuff.
That's right. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. This could be a disaster. I don't know, but we're gonna try it out. I'm Ryan Welch. Triple J, John Jefferson Jr. is on the other side. And we hope you're having a good day or evening or morning or whenever you're listening or watching. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. As a reminder, we would love to invite you to go check out our social media pages so you can leave some comments, ask us questions that we can bring up on future podcasts. We are on Twitter and Facebook at EnterCodePod. We're on Instagram at EnterCodePodcast. Of course, Anchor.fm/EnterCodePodcast. And you will find this video on YouTube.com. You just need to search EnterCode Podcast because we don't have that fancy URL yet.
We're trying. We're getting there.
We're getting there. We're almost to 50 subs, I think.
Yeah, we're 49. We're growing.
Ooh, not bad. Not
not bad for somebody that just started, We started October of last year?
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy, but it's cool. And this is a lot of fun. So, I kind of like the audio. I kind of like... Already, I'm kind of liking this. So, hopefully we'll keep this up and it'll work out. So, as always, John, we have to talk about what we've been playing, what we've been watching. Have we been doing a thing because we've been so busy with our dad lives? What's going on your neck of the woods?
So I tried kickboxing class the other day.
Oh, yeah!
That was a lot of fun. That was my second class of kickboxing. We got to do Superman punches, so I felt like Roman Reigns. So
yes, yep.
Let's go.
Did you lock and load before you did it?
I thought about it, but then I figured they'd be like, "What are you doing? Just punch the bag." I did it in my head.
Okay, all right.
I was like, if you would have been there, I think I would have done it. Because you would have got it.
Yes, yeah, I probably would have stopped, punching the bag and laughed at it. Of course, one thing I'll bring up to our listeners, because I had to text you about this already, but one of our instructors called John out for being too afraid, too scared to come to his class.
I'm never scared.
He was.
I think we got him tomorrow night, actually.
No, I think it's Suzanne.
I thought it switched to Paul.
Oh, did it? Oh no, I gotta look. I can't handle this.
Hold on.
I'm gonna pass out from pain because of.
You're not gonna pass out,
dude.
If you fall over, I'll catch you.
It's been between Preston's class and Paul's class. It's been a struggle this week. Shout out Strike Boxing Fitness in Clearfield, Utah. They have been taking care of us, and they are a bunch of really good people. Oh no, it is Paul. Oh no.
Yeah, I don't suggest that we bring Aiden to that, because Aiden will die.
Oh my word, I'm gonna just fall apart. It's fine. You know what? It's okay.
I got you. It's cool.
You got me. You're gonna catch me. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna support you. When your arms are mush, I'm gonna be like, okay.
I'm going to rest good on Saturday. I think Saturday from all the classes I'm going to be sleeping in, which is going to be what I'm looking forward to.
You're not going to go do the 12 rounds?
Bro. Look, I want to, okay? The fact that... one of the reasons why... Okay, there's two main reasons why I joined boxing. First one, I needed something to keep me engaged, right? I go to the gym and I get bored and then I quit and then I don't do anything. And so this is keeping me engaged because every class is different and every class is super challenging. So, but the second thing was I grew up watching Mike Tyson fights with my dad. And so the fact that Preston's talking about this is 12 rounds Mike Tyson style fighting. And I'm just like, ooh, I really want to do this, but I just don't know if I'm ready for it yet. So,
I want to work my way up to it.
okay. Okay.
Because he said, I messaged him on, well, I made a comment on their Instagram page because he's following me on mine because I follow them, so that's nice.
Nice.
And I just was like, man, I wish I could make it because, Memorial Day weekend, I got to work all day.
But
And he's like, don't worry, we'll do it again. And I'm like, ooh, I shouldn't have said anything because now he's going to expect me to go to the next one.
Well,
and if I don't, Paul's going to call me out.
I laughed so hard. And then I died a little bit because he whipped my butt. There are... I know our listeners just care so much about this information. There's about 13 people signed up already, and that's just on the app. So, and we know that a lot of people don't usually use the app. Use the app, people. Come on, sign up for your classes.
So they can plan.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. 24-hour notice. Come on now. I sign up on Sunday for all my classes that I want to take.
Hey, I do that too, so I can plan my week.
Yep. Makes it easy. Then I have to commit. Like, you know what? I signed up. I got to do it. So yeah,
No out sick.
What was that?
No calling out sick.
Oh yeah, no. That happened one time when my knees were trash and I couldn't move, and I'm like, okay, I better not try it. It's gonna be fun. I think they're gonna do it again, especially if that's the turnout. Like, they got to do it again. So.
Oh yeah.
We'll do it, man. We'll work our way up.
We'll get there.
In non-health related news, I've been playing a game called Biomutant. And
jealous.
Yeah, so I told you it's on the Game Octane account, man. You gotta play it.
I've been obsessed with Mass Effect, man. Like the remaster is just, it's so pretty, and I never fully played all the way through number 1 because I watched my roommate play it. Driving in the, I can't even remember what it's called, their little Land Rover thing.
Yeah.
That was boring for me, but now like visually it's more appealing. There's not as many missions, it feels like, with the rover. So in the storyline, I'm going all like evil. Because normally I'm always like, Paragon. So now I'm like, no, I'm gonna be evil. So they're like, hey, how do we do this? And I'm like, F your couch. I'm gonna shoot you.
Dang, that's
like,
rough.
I was so vicious though, because like there was this mission I was doing, and I was fighting. I was going against these aliens that were trying to make this rocket or this asteroid crash into this planet and kill all these people.
Oh.
And they had these hostages, and he was like, well, if you don't stop, I'm going to detonate this bomb and it's going to kill them. And I was like, I don't care. Small price to pay. And he just, and I was like, ooh, this is kind of weird being all rogue and evil. Like, it's kind of fun because I'm not that way in real life, but I'm like, okay. And he's like, all right, so you killed him, so I'm going to kill you. Boom. So I killed the alien. And I was like, okay, next mission, let's go.
So is there you said Paragon, right? That's usually good side?
Yeah.
So is there a name for the evil side?
There is. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Just making sure. I just thought that would have been funny writing where it's just like, okay, we don't want to say good and evil, so we're going to have a nickname for good, but we'll just keep evil. I'm like, well, that's kind of lazy writing. No, one of these days I'm going to play it. I really should.
Renegade.
Okay, that makes sense. Biomutant's very interesting because it is an action RPG, open world. I would say a small scale open world, but it's fun. The story is very interesting, and so you do have, with every open world, you do have your struggles with repetitiveness, right? Like you do kind of repeat some stuff over, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Like there's a lot of room for growth. You can grow your character, and what's kind of nice is you can, if you're worried about starting a character and not having the right stats, you can level your character pretty easy where you're going to be fine. And, it's
like progression kind of thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, there's not a whole lot of worry there. That's one of my biggest struggles with RPGs is because I want to have the perfect character at the start because it's like, am I going to get screwed in the end? In this case, it doesn't really matter too much. So that's kind of a nice in terms of, I would say, being accommodating to different styles of gamers and different ability types, where like a beginner RPG player could get in there and have a great time, and a seasoned RPG player as well. So it's fun. One thing I do like a lot is the lore, but it's a lot of story that's being thrown at you. And it's with this like weird narrator who, I don't know, like I'm still kind of early, if you know, a few hours into the game. I can see the guy just wearing down on me as we go through the game. You know, a longer game. I think it's about 10 to 15 hours total, something like that. So
like just the main game, or
yeah, just main game, and then lots of side quests and stuff you can do after it. So having the guy, the narrator, kind of translate the characters can get a little annoying. And so after a few hours, I can see like that could be an issue. Apparently, you can turn them off in the menu, which is great.
okay.
Yeah, but so far so good. Like, I would just say it's a solid, you know, B. Like, so far, you know, I'm having a good time. It's enjoyable. The game looks gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it looks really, really good. And it's a small development team. Experiment 101 are the developers, and then THQ Nordic are the publishers. But the developers, it's like a small development team. So, you know, hats off to them. It's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. So, you know, that's been something that I've been chugging away at. Hopefully I'll have a full review on Game Octane. I think Monday is my goal. That'll probably give me a little more time to write everything down. But other than that, though, that's kind of what I've been playing and watching some Netflix. And you know, I watched Army of the Dead.
Did you finish it?
I mean the PG version, because you know, family friendly.
Yeah, totally. We're all about P. You did not. Stop lying.
Okay, fine. I watched the regular version. It is entertaining, despite its faults. It's entertaining. Good action. I like the story. I like the. It's kind of a newish type of lore where it's implying that this main zombie was made kind of like by the military, but he escapes. And so there's like a hierarchy system with this main zombie. They call him Zeus. So when he bites someone, they turn into a fast-moving zombie who's not exactly smart, but like smarter than your normal, like, you know.
So not like your Resident Evil stand
right.
still and I'm gonna shoot you, but this is like, okay, I know how to fight back.
Right, and so there's kind of like this weird trickle-down effect where as they bite more people, the farther down the line from Zeus, then you get the Shamblers is what they call them, and those are your Walking Dead, Walking Dead, Resident Evil, slow-moving zombies.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's interesting kind of seeing that, how that hierarchy works. There's like almost like a zombie love story, which is interesting. Yeah. Yeah, Zeus has a queen, man.
What, Hera?
No, she's a showgirl, obviously. It's in Vegas. What's her name? I think it was like the queen, or anyway. So it's interesting, like some of the storytelling where one character is from this refugee camp outside the walls of Vegas, and so she tries to sneak survivors in and out because, you know, they can go try to steal money from a slot machine, get out, and, you know, they'd be set up for life pretty much.
Yeah.
So there's this beginning part where she gets the group in, our main characters, and sacrifices one of them to the queen and to Zeus. And the zombies kind of leave them alone until some shenanigans happen. I don't want to spoil too much, but
I'll watch it eventually.
There's some great zombie gore in there, and I really want to know more about the zombie like lore in there, because when I don't know if this was an accident or if it was meant on purpose, but with some of those alphas, not the main guy, but some of the alphas. There was one scene where one got a headshot, you know, but it just head exploded. But there was like this blue tint or blue like light effect. And so I'm just like, okay, how did they make this? You know, what kind of technology did they use? And so like, it would be cool to get, and I think they're making some prequel stories, but I don't know if they'll ever go into like how did this zombie get made, what was the science behind it, things like that. But it's entertaining. It's very entertaining, and Batista, dude, he's just great. He's great in it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, he just like he just goes to town, just headshotting everybody, and just he's a good hero. He's a really good hero. So
He's trying to get Marcus Phoenix on.
Oh yes. Oh, I wish. Maybe one day. So yeah, I watched that, playing Biomutant, surviving, boxing. That's been life. Are you ready to get to the meat of our discussion tonight, of our podcast?
Do this.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's E3 season, baby. E3 season, it's finally here. As much as we debate the importance of E3, it's still exciting. All right? I'm not going to lie. I get excited when E3 comes along. Do we need E3? No. But it's still exciting. So
it's welcomed.
It is. So today, the 27th of May, 2021, that's when we're recording this, we had a bunch of live streams going on. So, which is kind of funny because E3 is still a couple weeks away, roughly like a week and a half. June 13th is the first big presentation. That's Xbox and Bethesda. Ooh. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that one. So what we want to talk about with the podcast tonight, we want to talk about the big 3 presentations today, including a beautiful presentation from PlayStation about Horizon Zero Dawn Horizon Forbidden West.
I thought it was Forgotten Wilds, no?
No. It's Horizon Forbidden West. I just didn't know if the Zero Dawn goes with it because that was the title of the first one.
It's called Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so just a wonderful presentation of Horizon Forbidden West, which is the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. We had a Sega presentation because Sonic is celebrating 35 years? 35 years?
30 or 35?
I think it's 30. Yeah, 30th anniversary. That old man. He needs to retire. And then we had a Dying Light. Yeah, and then we had a Dying Light 2 presentation. And then if you want to count that, early morning our time, or I guess technically really late last night, Dragon Age. No, not Dragon Age. Dragon Quest. There was a live stream about upcoming Dragon Quest games. Yeah, it was late last night.
I was trying to get my beauty sleep,
Oh, I know. You need all the help you can get.
I do. It's rough. I look like this.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You need it. If you're listening on Spotify or podcast channels, go on our YouTube page so you can see that beautiful face. So what I wanted to do is kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, for sure, John, you saw the Horizon Forbidden West footage, right? So let's first talk about that, and then I'll kind of recap some of the things that were announced today in terms of Dying Light and this, celebrating Sonic's 30th anniversary. And then I wanted to wrap up the show. I wanted to attempt to do some predictions for E3. Not many, because with COVID, everything is crazy and up in the air. But I wanted
to all the time.
Exactly right. So I just wanted to see, maybe there's some predictions, some things that we hope for that we can bring up. So let's talk about Horizon first and foremost. John, I know you played the first game. Can you do a little recap of the first game? Kind of, talk about the world and plot points and things like that.
For those who haven't played and probably get backlash for this, I haven't beaten the first one because, as we've talked many times, I'm one of those people who it takes a while to eventually beat the game because I'll get to a certain point and move on to a next one. Hence why I'm still working on God of War, but it's okay. It's updated in 4K and I love it on my PS5.
Oh yeah.
But to set the world for Horizon Zero Dawn, it's kind of like this futuristic kind of primitive because you're using like bows and arrows for weapons, but you're fighting against like these like techno dinosaurs and like elephants and bisons and stuff, and it's just kind of like a really unique world.
Okay.
And like female protagonist, which is awesome. Aloy, she's awesome. And just one thing that I loved, and even seeing that in the trailer today, like the character designs, like the animations, like there was it almost looked like a raptor, but it had like the chainsaw for like going on its head.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and just like the little details like that, and like the spot where she goes, and which in my head I'm like watching the footage as they're like fighting the elephant. I'm like, don't just stand there while you're getting shot at. You gotta run, like run and shoot. I'm like, I want to play for you. Like stand here, aim, poof, oh, you get hit. But just seeing like that, and like using her different arrows in my head, I'm like, oh, she's like Green Arrow over here, trick shots.
Heck
Using
yeah.
the sticky and making it stem, and yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, pretty.
If you were lucky enough, I mean, basically follow PlayStation because they had their PlayStation free. They gave out a bunch of free games, but Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the games they got out for free. So eventually, I'm gonna try it, and I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. The footage today was just beautiful, and I gotta say, anytime you can make a game look pretty and you're the main thing is you're broadcasting usually at 1080p, right, on YouTube. That's kind of as high as you can go. You can upload a 4K video later, but during like live streams like on Twitch and things like that, usually it's 1080p. So being able to have a game that looks that gorgeous at 1080p, and then I don't know if you've done this, but go back and watch the 4K video. Oh my goodness. It's butter. Ooh, it's so good.
Ooh,
It's so
okay.
good. So
I'll have to do that.
the just in 4K, the colors just pop. You know what I mean? Looking at the footage, it's looking like this is taking place. At least that portion of the gameplay that they showed was in San Francisco, which is pretty awesome. I honestly don't know what is my favorite. The greens of everything, or the water. Just that brief little underwater part where she's swimming underwater. Holy cow.
Looked real, bro.
It looked
Just
incredible.
like ripples and everything. I was
Yes.
like, ooh, okay, go
Oh
ahead,
yeah.
go ahead.
And as someone who hasn't, again, I haven't played the game. Looking, older trailers and things like that, I really thought it was just kind of like you're fighting people with bow and arrows. So seeing the melee action working, seeing her, my understanding, from watching the footage, kind of that interesting grapple effect where she was able to latch onto something and pull herself up.
Oh yeah.
I think that part's new, which looks awesome. And just kind of the different fighting, different enemy types that she was able to, take out one guy with stealth. I'm glad there was at least that mammoth fight towards the end, because I was a little worried when they didn't show off a whole lot of just fighting those other dinosaur things in the beginning of the footage. But still, it looked just incredible. Here's my question. Were you expecting a release date in the footage today?
Yes.
Were you? Okay. I honestly wasn't expecting one. It would have been cool, or at least maybe a window. But basically on the PlayStation blog, the Guerrilla Games narrative director Ben McCraw said, "We don't have an exact release date yet, but development is on track and we'll have an update for you very soon." So
Next year.
see, I think it's 2022. The one thing, I guess, and this is actually one of my predictions that I was going to share when we were talking about E3. Obviously, PlayStation doesn't use E3 anymore. Like, it doesn't need E3. It absolutely does not need it. So my assumption at this point, and this is actually one of my predictions, is we'll probably get another State of Play in August. Maybe more of Horizon Zero Dawn, but maybe more of a traditional State of Play where you're going to get a bunch of games. Maybe they'll have a release window during that time, like the end of the summer. We'll see. But Yeah, but I wasn't like disappointed that they didn't have a date. Like everyone's working from home. Like everything's up in the air. Like I don't know. I don't know when studios are going to be kind of going back in their studios
Never.
to. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Do they do it? Like, do they is it working for them? Like, sure, it's kind of taking some little bit longer to make games, but is that a bad thing? No, like that's fine. Take all the time you need. There's 50 million games that come out on Steam every week, so you can take your time if you want to with some of these titles. When do you want to play it? Do you want them to get it out as soon as possible? Do you want to wait? Like, what do you want?
Um, yes and no. Like I want it as soon as possible, but I also want a complete, finished, like polished game. Like, we've talked about this before. Like sometimes they rush so much to get the game to us, and then, it's so glitchy, like Cyberpunk. The horror stories of that, people wanting a refund, like even just a little bit I played on your copy, like it wasn't super smooth, and I was like, okay, I'm done. And I only played what, maybe 20 minutes,
Maybe,
20
if that.
maybe.
That's like as far as you could get, and you're like, okay, I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm all finished with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cyberpunk, I think, will go down as a cautionary tale for a long, long time.
Mhm.
I'm not saying anything bad about the merits of the game, but I think hopefully other studios learned their lesson of what happens when you rush a very highly anticipated game out the door too early. And so, seeing how beautiful Forbidden West is, I'm like, take your time, please.
Please.
Like, I want this game to be perfect. And, oh, okay, that's probably putting it at too high of a standard. I don't want it to
Nothing perfect,
be
but yeah.
right, but you know what I mean. But like, I want it to be as best as it. There we go. I want it to be as best as it can be, and then I'll be happy. So, yeah, I think I'm obviously very excited. One of the streams I was watching when it was playing is they were talking about this is the haptic sensors on the controller, on the PlayStation 5 controller. Like, can you imagine what kind of cool stuff they could do? Especially like maybe messing with the torque as you pull back on the bow, so you can kind of feel the resistance to that. I don't know, just maybe some fun vibrations when one of those machine dinosaurs are nearby. Like, I don't know, they can do some super fun
Like
stuff.
the shaking of the ground kind of trembling through your controller.
Oh yes, yes. Oh, I would love that. I would love that.
Ooh.
So
Yes, please.
yeah, so obviously that was definitely one of the best things that we saw today. You didn't get a chance to see the other two, but we'll move on to talk about the Sonic stream real quick.
Okay.
It was interesting. It felt all over the place at the beginning, because like one of the things that they announced that I had a good chuckle at was just some of the like cameos or appearances that Sonic's gonna be in different games. So, for example, there's a game that's called 2 Point Hospital. It's one of those like sim type games where you basically build up a hospital and you have to run it. So there's gonna be like Sonic based like items that you can download for 2 Point Hospital. Which I'm like, okay, that's funny. And then based in the upcoming Olympics game, Olympic Games Tokyo 2020, they'll have like Sonic gear that the athletes in the game can dress up as. So like when I caught the stream, I saw that part first, and I'm like, okay, is this where?
Interesting.
Yeah, this is what we're announcing. Okay, cool. Why not? But then we got to some good stuff. On June 24th, Sonic Mania will appear on Epic Games Store. And PlayStation Now, it will receive Sonic Forces, Sonic Mania, and Team Sonic Racing on June 1st. So that was a pretty big announcement. Sonic Colors Ultimate, which I've never played before, but that's going to be arriving September 7th on PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC through the Epic Games Store. Did you ever play Sonic Colors?
Colors was different.
Okay. Like, that was the first time I actually seen footage of it during the stream today, and I'm like, okay, that's interesting. I've never seen it before, but cool. Like, I'm excited.
I think I played like a little bit of it just because I was trying a game out for, I think I was at GameStop at the time,
Okay.
and trying to demo like I think it was a 3DS game,
Oh, okay.
if I remember correctly. There's been a lot of Sonic games. Yeah,
There's
it
been a
was.
lot of Sonic games.
Yeah, so I think that was one where like the different colors gave them different abilities, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Okay. I mean, the trailer looked nice. If you haven't checked it out online, guys, go check it out online. It looks nice. So, besides that, there was a couple other things that they announced, like some mobile game events, a couple updates in terms of some upcoming animated projects for Sonic. So, Sonic cartoons will be back, obviously. And then the main juicy little tease that they dropped was they announced that, and this is from an IGN article, the Sonic team, which has previously released Sonic Generations and Sonic Forces, had begun work on a new mainline Sonic game. The game is slated to arrive in 2022 on all major consoles and PC. There was no information about it, but there was a teaser of a 3D Sonic running, and then that was the teaser. So, what do you think? Are you excited for a new Sonic game?
I'm not gonna lie, like watching the Sonic the Hedgehog movie with Jim Carrey, like I didn't know what to expect, and I was like, that kind of made me re-hype for Sonic because I was like, that was a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Right,
And,
right.
the fact that they showed Tails, and we'll get Tails and Knuckles in the sequel that we're already gonna, get. I'm like, hey, give me another good Sonic game. Like the last one I remember playing that was fun was Generations. Like I played that pretty religiously because it was something I could play with my daughter. Like she would even play. I mean, obviously I had to help her because 6-year-old at the time. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, and Sonic Mania when that came out because that was more your classic Sonic game, and that was just fun to be able to take on the go like on my Switch, and it's still everything I knew and loved, but adding more characters and things like that. So I'm all for a good Sonic game. It can't be any worse than the Sonic, what was it, '06, where he had a thing with a human.
Yes, I think that was '06. And yeah, like I can't believe you mentioned that one. There's been some up and downs in terms of Sonic games, in terms of quality. But hey, I think we're excited about it.
We're overdue.
That's right. So I have to ask you this. This is just a little side tangent. Sorry, everyone listening. This is just a tiny side tangent.
But we never do that.
The Greg Miller over at Kinda Funny posted a poll on Twitter. I'm going to read this word for word, and you have to give me your answer. Okay? What's the more popular IP, Sonic the Hedgehog or Legend of Zelda?
Legend of Zelda.
Ooh, okay. All right. Okay.
What did the poll say?
So the poll agreed with you. The Kinda Funny crew did not, and they were very passionate about that. So I think
Sonic over Zelda. Really?
So here's the thing. I think in terms of name brand is what they're talking about. Not necessarily quality of games or anything like that, but like if I was to go to my mom and show her a picture of Sonic, she's probably more likely to know that that's Sonic versus I show a picture of Link and then someone says that's Zelda, and then you get those problems, right?
Okay. I didn't think about it that way.
Mm-hmm. No, and I
Sonic
didn't.
is more recognizable,
Right, and I didn't either because I also voted in the poll. I voted for Zelda too, because I don't know. For me, it felt like Zelda was more of a household name because of Nintendo. And maybe this is controversial to say. I feel like in some aspects, Nintendo is more popular than Sega. You know what I mean? So it just felt natural saying,
nowadays, yeah.
Right, and I think that's the thing I didn't factor in either. Nowadays, yes, but overall, over the 30-year history, yeah, probably more people know of Sonic, and arguably it's more popular. So, anyway.
I mean, it's kind of like if you're, talking about who's more recognizable, they'd be like, "Hey, who's this guy in this red plumber suit? Oh, that's a Mario guy."
Mm-hmm.
And who's this look over here? Oh, that's Sonic. So, and if you throw Link in there, they're gonna be like, "Who is that?" Or if you threw in like Samus, they'd be like, "Who's Samus?"
Oh yeah, I don't know how many people would be able to vote to pick out Samus from a lineup. Yeah,
Yeah.
Star Fox too. Yeah, there's definitely.
Yeah.
So it was just it was an interesting question that I think set the internet on fire for a minute, at least the gaming internet. So I thought I had to ask my boy about that. Real quickly, I will just go over. Do you ever play the first Dying Light?
I don't do zombie games well.
Okay, okay. So that's a big fat no on that one.
Yeah, jump scares easy in these games. I'm not gonna lie.
I do some zombie games. Some zombie games I do. I'd never
I mean,
had.
Left 4 Dead. Let's go with that.
Oh
I'll do
yeah.
that all day.
Oh yes, I love Left 4 Dead. Dying Light 2. Basically, the game got an official like title, so it's Dying Light 2: Stay Human. It's going to be released December 7th on PlayStation 5, 4, all the Xboxes, and PC. So that was kind of the main news. There was a gameplay trailer that you can check out online, just kind of going more about the story because it takes place. I think they said about 20 years past. So the first Dying Light game came out like 20 years ago in this story. So this takes place 20 years later, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, so it's not that old of a game.
No. Oh, definitely not that old of a game. No. I'm just like the story wise, it takes place 20 years after the first game's events. So it looked interesting, and they have a crap ton of collector's editions that you can spend lots of money on. So enjoy that.
Yeah, you'll have fun with that.
Nope. Exactly right. And then the final thing I wanted to mention, if you didn't get to check it out, again, it was like late last night, but Square Enix showed off some Dragon Quest stuff. Dragon Quest 12, The Flames of Fate, was announced. There's no trailer or anything like that. It was just a teaser logo that came out. They announced a couple other things, Dragon Quest related. A Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake was being planned. So and that one I saw like a screenshot and people were super confused because it almost looked like the animation or art style like Octopath Traveler. So it looked super cool. I'm just like, okay, that's interesting art. But yeah, I think it's like one? I never did. No, I wanted to. I think it's on Game Pass right now.
It's on Game Pass, bro.
Yeah.
You owe it to yourself to play that.
I heard it's good. I heard it's really good.
It's so good.
I'll just add it to my list.
You'll play it like next year.
If I get a chance to. So that was basically the main things, and that was all in the span of like 24 hours. So that's why E3 season, it's ramping up like major. And that's not even talking about Far Cry 6, which, hey John.
What?
Guess what company had their footage leaked early?
Oh.
Ubisoft did.
Really?
Yes, that's right. The Far Cry 6
wow.
stuff leaked online today, and their broadcast is tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, it wouldn't be E3 season unless Ubisoft had a leak of some kind. So,
this is true.
It's just tradition. It's tradition at this point. I tried not to watch any of it, but someone posted just this 12-second clip of a disc shooter. So it's kind of like a gun that shoots out discs. And the discs were playing Macarena, so like CDs. So yeah, I saw like 12 seconds of a guy getting killed by Macarena burned CDs. So, Game of the Year contender. Game of the Year contender already. It's just
the Macarena back. Okay.
I love it. Well, wow. John, I think I'm ready to wrap things up to talk a few E3 predictions. Okay. I was wanting to get this big comprehensive list, right? I thought that'd be super fun. But I kind of this year just don't feel like having this crazy list of wishes or anything like that, because at this point, I think my biggest wish is for the gaming industry to get back to normal. I keep thinking about the Horizon Forbidden West footage, how it would have been if I was in an audience and had it on. You know, when companies set up all their E3 presentations, it's like this beautiful 4K screen. I just imagining the colors of that trailer popping out at you, and just like 60 frames a second, just beautiful, beautiful footage. So there's obviously ease when it comes to just streaming out announcements, right? But that is one of the things about E3 that I think is cool, like being able to be there in person and to present your product in person. Just, you could probably, in some ways, you might get a little bit more out of it. So I wanted to just kind of just go over just some thoughts, what I hope for, what I think is going to happen for E3 this year. I think next year, you know, heaven forbid, everything's going to go back to normal. We can have like a proper E3 show, you know, where we have like some good predictions and all that crazy stuff. Right now, I think it's just, I wanted to talk about a wish list, you know what I mean? So I will give you a few minutes to think about it, and I'll go first. Does that sound okay? Okay. So my first prediction / wish list, I feel that Xbox is going to have the best lineup to show off at E3. And the reason why I'm saying that is not because I'm an Xbox homer. Yes, we all know I love me my Xbox. I think because they had so many of their games delayed, I think they're just going to have a lot more games ready to go. Does that make sense? So, you know, it feels like there was a lot of games that they were going to have at launch of the Xbox Series X and S, but they were all delayed. Halo, for example, obviously was the big one that was delayed. So I think their presentation on the 13th is going to be really exciting, because I think some of those games that were delayed, I think they're going to have official launch dates for like this upcoming winter, fall and winter. And I think that's going to be really cool. So that's why I think overall their presentation is probably going to be a little more exciting, because I think they're going to have a few more games ready to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, so obviously that could change depending on when Nintendo announces when they're going to do their presentation, right?
Right.
Because as much as I love Xbox, obviously Nintendo is the bigger name brand, and they have a lot of teases of future games coming up, Breath of the Wild 2, that obviously is going to steal the show if they have even like 10 seconds of footage of that. But again, like, I think that for me, Xbox is going to have a good show because they had a lot of stuff delayed from when they wanted to release it. So I think they're going to have some stuff ready to go. My next prediction, I've read these rumors. I don't know if I believe them. I do not think we're going to get a new Switch coming up. So a report came out today about a brand new Switch coming out like this fall, and I just, with all the chip shortages and things like that, I just don't see it happening. Next year, maybe, you know.
I don't see a need for another Switch because the Switch does so well. That's one of the things that, you think Xbox and PlayStation 5s are hard to keep in. I can't even keep a Switch in.
Oh yeah,
I barely keep a Switch Lite in.
Yeah, I was at Target the other day, and I was surprised. I actually saw several colors. I saw maybe 10, but then you go back like a week later, they're all gone.
Yep.
Yeah, I think with the one thing that I think is going to happen with whenever this new Switch comes out is I don't know if they're going to have the technology to make handheld like 1080p. Without it like completely draining the battery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe they'll come out with a better dock that could upscale things to 4K. Like I can see that happening. But a lot of people use their Switch in its portable mode, handheld. Oh, yeah. And I just think they'd be disappointed if, I don't think they're going to, be happy when it doesn't get to those higher scale resolutions on there. So
they already struggled with battery life to begin with.
Seriously, it struggles really, really bad. So yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it happening this year. Maybe again when we get that vibe that things in the gaming industry are back to normal, then maybe we'll get an actual proper tease and release and things like that. Next prediction, yes, I believe we are going to get Breath of the Wild 2 teaser. No Metroid Prime teaser.
Really?
That's what I think. So if you recall, 2019. Yeah, 2019. They had announced that they changed like the development team. So I don't know if that means they continued the development of the game that was already in progress, or if they started from scratch. So that's why I didn't think we would get like an actual teaser or anything like that. I would be happy to be wrong. I would like to be wrong in this case.
Okay.
So, please, Nintendo, prove me wrong. That's totally okay. I already said this one earlier in the podcast. No PlayStation stuff until August. I think we'll have a big State of Play in August. That's kind of the feeling I'm getting. We will get some announcements, some good announcements for release dates for fall 2021, but I think there's going to be a lot of teases and windows for 2022. Again, right. So, for example, Bethesda's working on Starfield, right? And that one is kind of a hot topic item right now. A lot of people thinking, oh, maybe it's going to be 2022. I think it's 2023. But I think that, we're going to get those kind of teases, first glimpses, trailers, cinematic trailers, things like that. There's, Halo has to come out in 2021. I don't think they can afford to not have it come out in 2021. But I do think we're going to get a lot of titles in 2022. Hellblade? Hellblade? Is that the Xbox title? Hang on.
What's their name? Senua's Sacrifice or something
yes,
like that?
Yeah. Is it Hellblade? I don't think it's Hellblade.
I think it is.
Let's see.
What? I thought it...
It is. It is Hellblade. Okay, perfect. It is Hellblade. I think, we might get some information for a 2022 release of Hellblade, of the sequel to Hellblade. I think Fable will be 2023. I think Elder Scrolls has a chance for 2022. That'll be exciting. So anyway, I think we're going to have some good stuff come out in 2021, but I think we're going to have, especially from Xbox, some good stuff coming out in 2022. So that's just kind of my thing. And then, you ready? My last one. I have to make this prediction every single time. Okay, so you got to forgive me. They will announce Left 4 Dead 3. This is the year. It's happening. John, I don't care about Back 4 Blood. All right? That game looks awesome. But no. We're getting Left 4 Dead 3. Have I been making this prediction for like 6 years or 7 years? Yes. Have I been wrong every year? Yes. But I'm going to keep predicting it, baby. It's going to happen. I'm going to will it into place. Left 4 Dead 3. It's coming.
I mean, that sounds great and everything, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Wow. Crush my soul. That's fine.
I mean, I'm just the realist. What can I say?
Are you the realist?
I'm the illest.
Ah, yes. No, I have to keep tradition. I always have to bring up Left 4 Dead 3 and that it's going to come out. No, I think... so I made a comment on Twitter the other day that, it's funny during E3 season when you see like dormant social media pages start posting again. So Strange Brigade, it was one of my favorite games from a few years back. It's from the cool guys over at Rebellion Game Studio, and they started posting again. So I'm like, yeah, Strange Brigade 2, yes please, give it to me. Anyway, E3 season, I love it. I freaking love it. John, what do you think? What are some things you're thinking? Do you have any predictions? I mean,
I don't really have any predictions. Like, I would love to see more for Breath of the Wild 2 and give more of a firm date. I would love to see an announcement for a Zelda collection. Like, we've gotten these Mario celebrations where they did the 3D bundle and then they took it off the shelves because it's a limited time release. Like, even if it's a limited release, like, give me Zelda
Yep.
and more about Metroid and, give me some new content. And, I'm all for like some of these indie titles. Like some of the best games that I've played on Game Pass have been some of the indie titles that we played when we went to E3.
Oh yeah.
Like Spiritfarer, Star Renegades, like that old school game. Um, just little independent things. Like, I mean, heck, Battletoads is still one of the best games that we've played. I still haven't beat it just because, that's just me.
There's life.
Yeah.
They are going to have some Game Pass announcements. So,
Okay.
one thing I would love to see from Game Pass, you know how on PC the Ubisoft has kind of like an EA Play type, subscription service type thing. Oh, if they had like a subscription service for Ubisoft games join Game Pass, oh my word! Can you even imagine? Like I would probably I'll bump up my instead of paying $50, I'll pay a few bucks more for that. Like no problem. Oh yeah, no problem. Are you kidding me? Like Game Pass is saving me money because of all the games that come out on it that I can play without spending like more like retail price on it.
That's true.
And I can just try stuff and not be afraid to try games. Like, give games a chance I never would because of money. I love Game Pass. I love it a lot.
Funny speaking of that, my coworker, because his kids aren't listening, and like one of his oldest kids is like butting heads with his mom and like not doing schoolwork. He was like, "Yeah, Game Pass is about to expire, and I'm not going to renew it."
Oh.
Dad, come on. And he's like, "Nope, no Game Pass for the summer. Sorry." And they're like, "Well, they're going to do this thing where it's like $1 per month." And he's like, "Do you have $1?" And I was like, "So what did they say? Hey, Dad, can I have $1 for my allowance to pay for Game Pass?"
Dang.
Wow, put the hammer down.
Hardcore, man. That's hardcore.
Kids, do your work so you can play games.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I'm assuming, John, that we're going to probably talk about all the announcements when they come out. So future podcasts will be full of info. I don't know, maybe we can steal Jason Giramino to come back on. We always have fun doing our Game Pass and our head nod like we're doing right now. Again, you got to go on YouTube. Yeah. You got to watch the video. It's a great time of year. Yes, I miss going. I'm not going to lie. I miss going to E3.
I want to go again. Like, that was such a good time, dude. I've only been once. You've been multiple times. But even that one time, I was just, like, ecstatic. Like, I still talk about that experience to this day.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Yeah. Still, there's some weird stuff. It was a crazy week, but like I played everything I wanted to play and I saw everything that I wanted to see, and I'm just like, man, it was perfect. It was perfect.
I didn't have enough money for all the swag I wanted to buy, but it's okay.
Yeah, and then the booth babes over at Bang was just yucky.
That was I avoided that.
I remember we
looked at that and I was like, nope, I'm watching another Street Fighter.
Yep. We walked over and we're just like, oh, what's down here? And I looked over and that's loud music. Oh, is that Booth Babes? No. And you turn the corner and just walk away. Just walk away. It was definitely a funny transition from how it is previous years. So I'm excited that they're doing something virtual. It's fun. I'm going to enjoy the announcements, and we'll be back soon, and we'll talk about them. All the hype that we get from this.
All the things.
That's right. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for listening on our podcast services. Thank you for watching on YouTube. This is exciting. I hope the audio kept up the entire time, and I kind of heard some kind of little bit of feedback throughout, so I might have to figure out a way to fix that. But overall, I think everything turned out pretty decent. So, of course, leave us a comment. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment on our social media pages. I want to try to do do this kind of recording instead of just an audio recording. I like doing a video I really do. So I want to keep trying that. So any feedback about sound levels, things like that, please don't hesitate to leave a comment on our social media pages. Again, we're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. You can leave a voicemail on Anchor.fm. If you do leave a voicemail, we can splice it into an episode. And, any questions you have, we can talk about it in the episode. And, Go on YouTube, youtube.com, search up Enter Code Podcast, and you'll see this video up there very soon. So, John, any last words? Any last words from you?
It's late. I'm tired. It's been a long day. Working retail in the holidays is not fun.
Yes.
So thanks for me doing this, because this is Mountain Dew.
Ooh, John making the big bucks today. So,
yeah.
Hey, thank you all so much for tuning in and listening. We'll see y'all next time. Have a good one.
Later.